Hey, and welcome back to the Simply Fitness podcast. On this episode of the podcast, I talk about a really powerful topic today about what's really stopping you from making progress. The answer might surprise you. I don't want to give anything away because this episode was amazing, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did recording it. Yo, guys, welcome back to the Simply Fitness podcast. Hope you all are having the most amazing day. Cannot wait to talk about this podcast. It's something I've been thinking about a lot. We're going to get real deep, ask a lot of hard questions of ourselves, and I'm going to talk a lot about, some of things that were holding me back. So I'm going to be very raw, vulnerable. It's going to be awesome. And I think this is going to be huge for a lot of people to really break through some barriers and it's going to allow them to progress, not just in their fitness and health, which is what we're going to talk about today, but you can move this into any aspect of your life and is directly related to every aspect of your life. But today we're going to talk about it in respects to fitness and to health. So what is really stopping you from making progress? So a lot of us have tried diets, fitness programs in the past, maybe even had coaches and have not found success. Now, is it because you haven't found the right program, the right coach, the right diet? It might be. It might be. But is there really something else holding you back? Is there someone or something else getting in your way or stopping you or even sabotaging your progress? Sometimes we can blame, it can be the situation. We can blame, my job, my family, your friends. Maybe it's a significant other that's stopping you from improving your health, improving your fitness, reaching those fitness goals. But let's be honest. What if it's none of those things? What if we really think about it, if it really comes down to it, what if the reason we failed and did not achieve our fitness goals was actually us? That we were stopping ourselves from making that progress. You might think, John, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. My family didn't support me. The diet wasn't right. The coach set me up to fail with unrealistic goals. But what if it really comes down to you? This is your goal. Let's take ownership of our goals. At the end of the day, if we do not achieve it, it's us. We were the reason we did not achieve it. What if it wasn't just us? It wasn't just the actions that we were taking that might not have been correct. But what if it was in our mind? In our mind, we were never going to succeed because we didn't think we could succeed. What if what we thought about ourselves was really the reason that you have yet to find success in your fitness? So there is a term to define these things, and they're called limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief is something that you believe with absolute certainty and is going to prevent you from finding success. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs in general. And we can believe a lot of things. And again, those are things that you have with absolute certainty. When you believe something in your heart and in your mind, that is absolutely certain. But sometimes those beliefs are what's holding you back from finding success. You need to ask yourself, what are your limiting beliefs that you have about your health, fitness, your body? What are those things that you believe, even if you don't want them to be true, but what do you actually believe your body should look like, how your health should be? What is fitness? Is your strength, how fast you can be, how strong you can be? What are your beliefs there? And ask yourself these hard questions. This is going to be uncomfortable. This Asking these questions is not going to be easy, but once we can find these limiting beliefs and look at them, it's going to be super powerful. So now, once we have these limiting beliefs, we have these beliefs, we've listed them out, we've come up and really dug deep into figuring out, okay, why haven't we found our success here? Think about the worst consequences that have come from having this limiting belief. And what will happen if you continue to have this limiting belief? So what are the worst consequences? What has resulted in you believing in this? And what will continue to happen in the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, if you still have this belief? Think about it. List everything you can think of. Take time to think about it. We might have more than one. That's okay. More than one limiting belief. That's okay. But you got to look at it. Look at how it's resulted in, certain things. Think back. How has this resulted in negative consequences? And how is it going to continue to affect the rest of your life? And then once we have that, then we can replace those beliefs with not a limiting belief, but with a belief that's going to help us grow. So let's walk through an example of this and how this actually looks like. So I'm going to use one of mine that I used to have. So an example of a limiting belief that I used to have was, in order to have an amazing body, to look great, to feel great, it required great sacrifice. So I had to sacrifice foods that I loved. I had to sacrifice time. I had to sacrifice energy. So what were some of the consequences that came from that? My workouts were exhausting. I would spend hour plus working out 4 to 5 times per week. They were exhausting. I worked myself to the bone. Worked myself as hard as I possibly could because I believed that was needed in order to succeed. I had to cut so many things out of my diet. As many of you know, if you follow me, I love food. I love it. I love cooking and I enjoy it. It's something I thoroughly enjoy. But I had to cut out so many things out of my diet. So many of the things that I enjoyed. Now, how did this make me feel? Not so great. It created a lot of anxiety with my diet. A lot. Because I had to cut out so many of the foods that I enjoyed. So I was always anxious about, okay, does that fit in my diet? Is that going to result? How is that going to affect my results? Am I now not going to look good because I had that food? Do I now have to, cut my diet even more tomorrow as a result of that? So it created a lot of that anxiety. As well, it didn't really bring me any results. Yeah, I lost some weight. Yeah, I gained some muscle. But I really didn't see great results. Really didn't have the body that I wanted. I was always still unhappy with it. So, it didn't result in what I wanted. So I just dug deeper and deeper and deeper. Honestly, felt like crap. My body was worn down, wasn't fueling it right. So my mind was obviously not right. So just overall felt like crap. With that, it's put strain on all my relationships, my friends, my family, significant other. And at the end of the day, just made me lose a lot of my joy for fitness, for food, and everything like that, because it just brought anxiety. It didn't bring me the happiness that I thought it was going to be. And instead of looking at my belief, I blamed everything else but that. I blamed myself. And I wasn't trying hard enough, that I wasn't sticking with my program. And if I did, I would see results. And it was my fault. My program wasn't right. My diet wasn't right. I needed another coach. So there were so many things that I pushed the blame off to, when if I had just looked at it, it was my belief that I needed to do this. I needed to sacrifice in order to achieve this body. So what did I do? I changed that belief. I established that belief, saw what the consequences was, and knew I needed to change something. I knew I needed to be replaced with something else. So what did I change it to? So I knew I had to change it. So what did I replace it with? That's the next step. So I replaced it with results come from enjoyment of fitness and nutrition. So here I linked the results with the enjoyment. So in my mind, I needed to find a program that I enjoyed. I had to do workouts that I enjoyed. I had to do activities that I enjoyed. And if I did that, I would see results. Did not put a timetable on it and focus entirely on the enjoyment of it. So I kept a diet with foods that I enjoyed, that I loved, got back into cooking, started finding foods that I enjoyed, that fit in my diet, that made me feel good. I started to do more workouts that actually helped me improve. Instead of focusing in on those results and how I looked, just focus on workouts that made me feel good, that made me feel stronger, that made me, just more confident in my overall body. This also helped me just overcome that anxiety that was brought on by that belief. So instead of that anxiety came joy, came happiness. Now I feel unstoppable. I know that I can go anywhere, do anything, and still stay on my diet, still feel great, still make a tremendous amount of progress, and not have to worry about it because I'm doing the things that I enjoy. I can always make adjustments if I need to see more progress. So replacing that belief totally switched my mind. And I know from now on, with absolute certainty, that if I enjoy my workouts, if I enjoy the food I am eating, I will see my progress. And that's it. From now on, I believe that, but with my whole heart, that is the absolute certainty. Now, you might be thinking that this is not going to be easy, that this switch did not happen overnight. This was not something that I just flipped a switch one day and was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. No, it took a lot of introspection. I looked a lot inside of myself, asked these tough questions about why I wasn't finding success, why I wasn't happy. And that's not easy because we're designed to not to avoid pain. And it's painful to look at. It is painful to think about because we want to be successful. We want this joy and everything like that. But maybe we're the reason we're not finding it. And you really got to look inside yourself and be truthful with yourself. And it's not easy. These are tough questions. And once we realize that we're not perfect, that there's always can be a slightly better version of yourself, always a way that we can slightly improve and become a better version of ourselves. That's what's going to be key. And it's going to take a lot of raw and deep and just over time introspection of just evaluating, okay, what beliefs are making me decide to have this body, to have this relationship with food, to work out? What are the reasons and what's maybe stopping me from making the progress that I am seeing? And like I've said in the past, it all starts in the mind. You got to get that voice in your head telling you the right things. And these beliefs are quiet but powerful voices. You might not even know that they're there until you really start to look for them. And you really got to, because if you don't, it's always going to stop you, and you're never going to build that relationship with food that you want, to build that relationship with fitness, reach your fullest potential with your goals. So it'll help you grow. It'll help you find that right space to grow, that right environment to grow, and to grow past that environment and into a new one, and also help you become your maximal self. So I hope this was super helpful for you all. I know thinking about this stuff, thinking about my limiting beliefs has been huge for me in all aspects of my life, relationships, family, business, fitness, health. So take the time, write them down, have these conversations with yourself, talk with others about it too. That can always be helpful as well. If you need someone to talk to, feel free, DM me, shoot me an email. Always happy to chat with anyone about anything. But if you want to talk about your limiting beliefs, love to hear that too. So hopefully this episode was super helpful for you. I hope you have the most amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.